Good morning students. Today we will delve into the modern dance of South America, but we are taking the two countries Argentina and Brazil today. Latin dance is a common label for dances in South America. It refers to types of ballroom dances and folk dance that originated in Latin America. The category of Latin dances in the International Dance Sport Competition consists of the cha-cha-cha, rumba, samba, paso doble and also the jive of United States origin. Social Latin dances include salsa, mambo, merengue, tumba, bachata, bomba, plena and the Argentine tango. There are many dances which were popular in the first part of the 20th century, but which are now of only historical interest. The Cubazanton is a good example. Pera is a Puerto Rican dance associated with reggaeton music with Jamaican and Caribbean influences. Latin folk dances of Argentina include the chacarera, gato, escondido and zamba. Typical Bolivian folk dances are the morenada, culavada, caporales and the recently created tinku. In Colombia, one of the typical dances is the cumbia. Well, in Argentina, cultural activities are strong in Buenos Aires, one of the main Latin American cultural capitals, offering an energetic prospect for the performing arts. Many artists from all over the country migrate to the capital as prospects are centralized to this big cultural city. Yet, we can talk about some other existing dance centers in cities like Cordoba, Mendoza and Rosario. Some other new centers are also developing in cities like Neuquén, Bahia, Blanca, Rafaela and Tucumán. There are hardly any perspectives for presenting international dance in Argentina. At the present time, the sole performing arts festival which is renowned internationally is the Festival International de Buenos Aires, which takes place every 2 years. Other chances to watch international dance pieces came through periodic co-productions at the Complejo Teatral de Buenos Aires. The Festival Internacional de Videodanza is also of significance and is organized by Sylvia Zerpling, who has done a considerable work on the promotion of video dance in the country. Inside the country, we can point out festivals like El Cruce Rosario, Nu Dance Rafaela and Nuevas Tendencias Mendoza. They are attractive festivals which could have larger international impact in the future provided they have more financial resources. In Cordoba, the festival biannual International de Teatro del Mercosur is a festival with a high level international program which generally includes contemporary dance. Regular contemporary dance performances are generally hosted by El Camarín de las Musas and El Portón de Sanchez independently. Other dance arenas are with contemporary dance presentations, the Centro Cultural Rojas, Centro Cultural de la Cooperación, Teatro del Sur, Centro Cultural Borges, Espacio Calejo, Espacio Eléctrico, Beckett Teatro El Cubo and Centro Cultural Connex. The young and upcoming artists are applying innovative practice sessions and self-management techniques with alternative contexts for performing and producing artistic exchanges. The Gabinete Coreográfico in Neuquén and Casa Dorrego in Buenos Aires are groups which have been working in partnership for years. They also organize meetings, seminars and the staging of creations. Many other groups like the Centro Cultural La Mascara de Rafaela organize dance festival and seminars. No Si Lama organized in 2007 in Buenos Aires, and in La Plata the Usenuto di Danza Y performance. El Albor Danza Troto Teatro organizes in Mendoza the festival de Nuevas Tendencias. Cuarto in Bahia Blanca organizes performances and seminars. Prodanza Institute de Fomento para la Danza, no official, established in 2001 with the objective of sustaining the cause of dance artists by contributing subsides to help creative work. Another organization, the Fondo Cultura Buenos Aires, gives money to dance since 2004, but it is understandable that the subsides, which fluctuate between $1,000 and $4,000, are not sufficient to produce professional dance pieces. National scholarships up to $3,000 are given by Fondo Nacional de la Artes for producing dance pieces. Instituto Nacional de Teatro also offers scholarships and subsidies for dance theatre. Support and scholarships are also given by the Departamento de Cooperación Internacional, which relies on the Secretaría de Cultura de la Nación. The Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores, Foreign Relations Ministry, often pay for international travel tickets. Agencies like the British Council, Goethe Institute, Alliance Francaise and the Centro Cultural de España have accepted a range of projects associated to dance. The Servicio de Cooperación y Acción Cultural from the French Embassy is also an important associate. In Argentina, since 1987, history, theory and modern dance aesthetics have been introduced in the arts faculty at the Faculty de Filosofía y Letras at the Universidad de Buenos Aires, and since 1992 there is the program Danza at the Instituto de Artes de Espectáculo initiated there. Important researches are being conducted here in the field. There are 2 universities where career opportunities for dancers and choreographers in contemporary dance are offered. One is the IUNA, which has a contemporary dance company, and the other is Universidad Nacional de Tucumán. There are some local schools where students and teachers are encouraged to take up dance, like the Taller del Teatro San Martin in Buenos Aires, the Escuela Experimental de Danza Contemporánea at Neuquén, the Escuela de Danzas de Bahia Blanca in La Plata and Morón in the Buenos Aires province, and the private school Arts XXI in Buenos Aires. The initiation and development of modern dance in the country came with the North American choreographer Miriam Winslow in 1941 and a choice to reside and create a dance company in Argentina. At the start of the 60s, the interest in modern dance had grown, and there were many creators and groups who tried to work in new directions. One of them was the Instituto de Tella, which invited the forefront artists of all fields to join. At the end of that decade, the first official contemporary dance company in Argentina, the Ballet del Teatro San Martin, was created. Anna Itelman, the most significant choreographer of the country since the 50s and later choreographer in the 70s and 80s of the Grupo de Danza Contemporánea del Teatro San Martin, was remarkable. In the 70s, due to military authoritarianism, modern dance took a back seat and could not develop here. In the 80s, modern dance re-emerged through a festival called Danza Aberta, where many renowned and young artists expressed creativity, but could not carry on due to political situation and till democracy was established in 1983. But we find in the 80s a number of Argentine artists left Argentina to train in the new direction of dance that had not yet entered the country. The work of Cunningham, Nicolais, Release, Contact, and the whole Judson Church movement in New York attracted them. But the artists like Graciela Coronado, Teresa Duggan, Marina Giancaspro, and some others stayed back and began working at the Margarita Bali School as teachers and were popular too. With the improvement of the economic condition through the 90s, the work for the dancers increased and many productions created. But again, after 2001, the devalued currency in the country posed problem of continuation for contemporary dance exchanges. However, the political will of the city of Buenos Aires sustained and enhanced the conditions in the cultural zone, not only initiating the Festival de Danza de Buenos Aires every 2 years, but also raising the budget for the Prodanza and forming a cultural fund for Buenos Aires. In Brazil, dance has emerged from religion and folklore within the heart of the community. Cultural functions and carnivals also had their roles to play. We find Maria Oleniwa was one of the first ballet teachers in Brazil. She and her company of dancers performed. Later, with separation of school and company in the 40s, Václav Velček and Igor Shestov succeeded Oleniwa as company director. In the 1950s, the Teatro Municipal do Rio de Janeiro became very popular. The director was Tatiana Leskova. She choreographed classics as Swan Lake, Giselle, and Aurora's Wedding. She was born in Paris in a Russian aristocrat family. She left Russia after the Bolshevik Revolution. In 1942, she settled in Brazil, her home for the last 60 years. She was invited in the 90s by Jacob Spillo and then the Joffre Ballet to re-choreograph Massine's ballet Choreotium. From this group of dancers emerged personalities like Marcia Hedy, Yvonne Meyer, Aldo Latufo, Adi Ador, David Dupre, Maria Angelica, Dennis Gray, and Nora Esteves. In 1956, Dalal Achar initiated the Ballet Association of Rio de Janeiro and worked for staging many classical pieces such as the Nutcracker, Romeo and Juliet, and Cinderella, in addition to hosting guest appearances by international stars like Nureyev, Fernando Bujones, Natalia Makarova, and Margaret Fontaine. A famous teacher, Achar, was also an advocate of equal opportunity. He headed social projects like Danca para Escolas, whose primary function was to support dance in the public schools and in high-risk districts. In the 60s, teacher and choreographer Eugenia Fyodorova influenced the succeeding generation of dancers. She was the one who choreographed South America's first complete Swan Lake and was part of BTM's, that is Balletto Teatro Municipal, notable line of directors which includes Richard Cragun. Today's director, Fawzi Nelson Paranhos, works with many distinguished personalities like Anna Botafogo, Aurea Hammerelli. She has worked with Bejart and American Ballet Theatre. Cecilia Karshi, she was a brilliant technical dancer and owner of a line of dance clothes sold throughout the country, and Nora Esteves, to name just a few. Their repertory covers a lot of territory with examples like Nijinsky's El Apres Midi, Dawn Fawn, and The Rite of Spring, as well as Deborah's Colchore's Spike Sao Passion and Balanchine's Serenade. There is several official state schools in Sao Paulo, Belo Horizonte and Curitiba, all associated with municipal theatres. The Bolshoi opened a ballet school in the northern part of the state of Santa Caterina in 2000. This is the first time in 227 years of Russian history that Moscow has permitted its teaching method to be applied in another country. Today, the school offers an 8-year program specializing in the formation of young ballet artists. In the 70s era, when a military dictatorship controlled the country, the organization Stagium in Sao Paulo, under the direction of Dicio Otero and Marica Guidali, dealt with artistic censorship by bringing dance to slums, to prisons and the Xingu Indian tribes. This organization presented choreographies that had a distinct Brazilian identity. The corporal aspect was totally integrated with its indigenous roots and contains a social consciousness. Around the same, when Trisha Brown, Lucinda Childs and David Gordon were doing new dimension in innovation in the US, Brazil had some very pioneering and strong-willed artists. One of them, Graciela, who now resides in Uruguay, was an established artist in contemporary dance. She worked with the group Coringa, a group once described as a band of bats following a wild mare. Her group included artists like Ana Andrade and Mikhail Robin, and later Deborah Kolker. Coringa, which literally means joker, was open to all: fat, skinny, amateurs, professionals, tall, short, anyone. Everyone was encouraged to dance. This was an extraordinary idea. Another important thing was that Coringa was making an impression on the audience used to ballet performance. In 1988, another significant group, Quasar, was established by Vera Bicalho and Eric Rodovalho. Quasar has danced throughout Brazil and internationally for almost 20 years. Quasar's dancers seem to turn themselves inside out, upside down, and move in such an inventive way that it shouts imagination and craftsmanship. Impulses in the body start in one place and jump to another part of the body and then suddenly explode, lifting the dancer airborne and sending him off in another direction. The company's latest works, Coreografia para Ouvir, Mulheres and So Tinha de Ser Tom Voice, are examples of reflections of the contemporary condition of Brazil. The Centro Coreográfico, that is Choreographic Center, founded by the active artist Regina Miranda in Rio de Janeiro. This center was bestowed to contemporary dance and was open to all races and nationalities, has given many dancers the opportunity to work in exceptional conditions like a fully equipped theater. All these were sponsored by city funding via Rio Arte. We notice in Rio 3 well-known women with distinct choreographic approaches. Number 1 is Deborah Kolker. Her choreography combines the movements from sports and the incorporation of everyday activities. A student of psychology, Deborah played volleyball and was also a concert pianist. She was with Coringa, often called Debinha. She studies under Graciela Figueroa, and from her repertoire we can understand Graciela's deep influence. The next personality was Marcia Milhais. She was trained in classical ballet. She is a master's in dance from the Laban Center in London. After coming back to Brazil, she founded her company in 1994 and has gained strong national and international acclaim, receiving awards such as Best Dance Performance in 2005 from the magazine Bravo and the Petrobras Award in the Performing Arts for her choreography. Her work Tempo de Verão, which means summertime, ranges between Brazil's cultured and the trendy at its theme. The choreography is extremely noteworthy in gesture. Circular and spiral movements create a flexibility and create a physicality that brings to mind images of summer. The next important personality is Leah Rodriguez. Her works contain many vital themes. She tends to treat her theme satirically, possibly because of her association with Compagnie Marguerite Marin in Paris. In one work by Brazilian writer Mario Andrade, she explores corporally a universe of oral literature investigating possible rhythms suggested by the text and using Brazilian music from that time period. Or in another work, she makes a statement against overpriced tickets by creating what she calls a democratization of cultural access in charging only 1 real, about 40 cents, for admission. She then takes this theme and develops it in ways that allow us to see the body democratically. Her current work, Formas Brevis, inspired from the book Six Memos for the Next Millennium by Italo Calvino, was highly praised at the International Modern Dance Festival in Montreal. Other companies and individuals in street and jazz dance work not just for performances, but they also prepared teaching methods. People like William S. Cazu, director of the Danza de Rua pela Vida, Rosalie Rodrigues, director of the jazz company Raka, and Ballet de Rua Uberlandia MG, directed by Fernando Narducci, gathering dancers from all kinds of professions such as metal welders, gas station attendants, stone cutters and cooks, supported through a cultural incentive financial program by the state of Minas Gerais. Narducci guaranteed that these artists were able to leave their prior jobs and dedicate themselves exclusively to dance. For 13 years, Ballet de Rua continues to build bridges across turbulent waters by implanting valuable outreach training programs that give opportunities for youths to destitute neighborhoods. Today, many Brazilian dancers work in major international companies. Leticia Oliveira is at Houston Ballet. Thiago Soares is first soloist at the Royal Ballet in London. Pina Bausch and the Kullberg Ballet have had several Brazilian dancers over the years, as well as Martha Graham, Annie Teresa, the Keersmakers Rosas, American Ballet Theatre, and Joffrey. That trend resumes somehow the search of the current Brazilian contemporary dance. Topics like hybridism, dialogue with other languages, the own body, the otherness, identity, new technologies, movement and or non-movement are increasingly treated. And at the same time, artists inquire into the moving peculiarities of Brazilian body and what the Brazilian culture has to contribute to the previously mentioned concept.